Hey guys, how art thou? How's everyone going? A lot changes in 24 hours with what's happening in the world right now, doesn't it? I've just been collecting information, reading science journals, mainstream media, independent media, local hospitals. It's reading it all, trying to sort through, what's real, what's not, what's logical, what's horrible. What time is it here? It is 12:30 p.m. What's today? Friday. You're a piece of fish. Hey, how you going? Hey, David, my man. How you going, man? How you going? How you going? You have no clue. You're just waiting. Yeah, so, generally I'm just going to do these lives for a bit here and there with some updates as what's going on here in Australia and catch up with you guys and see how you're all going. Stay connected somehow. It's the best way. So a lot of things to talk about. That's for sure. That's lots of dislikes on a video that hadn't even started. That's funny. All right, so I'll get into it, guys, and I'll also try and answer some of your questions and have discussion and all the rest of it as well. So where are we? Sebastian, thank you. Hey man, it's been a long time. It has been a long time. Thank you very much for that donation. I, as you know, appreciate anything I can get. Well, Rickety Rail, I haven't seen you for ages. How you going, buddy? I'm back. Missed you, brother, down under. Hey, up front. Gibson, 5 more days of isolation. We're not in isolation yet. We're not even in a full lockdown or anything. Which is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Hey, Stratu. You were cold, shivering. Hello from Cape Town, South Africa. Do you have lockdown? No. We've got some shutdowns. Basically, they've just destroyed a bunch of businesses. That's about it. That's all. That's where we're at now. Just destroying people's lives and businesses, and trying to turn everything cashless so there's more control, which is awesome. Excuse me. Here we go. Oh, Sebastian. Awesome, man. Thank you. Every dollar counts. It really helps. I haven't been to Houston, Texas. I've been to the US, but the normal stuff. Went to LA and did the Disneyland and Universal Studios. Did the handprints, the Chinese. Went through all, look at the stars and all that on the ground, that kind of stuff. That was years and years ago. So things that I wanted to talk about, as you were just asking, are we in lockdown? No. Where schools are still open, but we're being told not to send our kids to school. Right now, in the state of Queensland, there is voting going on. Voting for council, not for federal or state, just for council. They are voting right now. And they're saying, but bring your own pens and bring your own pencils. Yeah, because that'll make a big difference. Ricky Rail, not much, I'm sorry, but I'm glad I could watch you. Hey, thank you very much, for the donation. Thank you very much. It's actually really cool to see you guys, just that I haven't seen for quite a while. I did a couple of chats yesterday, talking about the coronavirus, and that was really good, and just to reconnect with you guys as well. All right, that's $5. Thanks for being great. Thanks, Sebastian. Well, thanks for being great and supporting me. So yeah, as I was saying, there's elections going on here, and like, what in the hell? So I've actually written a list of just a few things that, like, so far in, I wouldn't say the last 24 hours, but since Greenwich Mean Time 0. So each day resets at 0. So I don't know what we are, if we're like 20 hours into the day or whatever. But so far, Australia's up to 3,050 cases, 374 new ones, 13 deaths. We've had 2 new deaths. 170 have recovered, and we've got 23 serious or critical. And in the area I live in the Central Coast, certainly last night there were 49 confirmed cases where I am. Could be more. So that was the first thing I wanted to mention. The other thing I wanted to mention is in Australia, we have, in the whole of the country, for 25.5 million people, 2,229 ICU beds, about 2,000 ventilators. Not enough. What they're doing also in Melbourne is they're currently converting the Melbourne Exhibition Centre into an ICU hospital and a morgue, because they know that they're going to need somewhere for helping people and storing bodies, which is pretty not good. So as I mentioned, schools are still open. A lot of businesses like bars, clubs, gyms, all these things, close proximity, they're all shut now. They've been told to shut. We've got this thing called social distancing, standing 1.5 meters, so about 5 feet away from everyone. It's mostly been observed. And we've also got a thing where you are to stay in an enclosed space. No more than one person for every 4 square meters. So in a 100 square meter room, no more than 25 people. Yet hairdressers are still open. So there can't be any social distancing there. There's now new laws of $1,000 fines if you don't have social distancing. If you're supposed to be in isolation and there's random checks and you are out, you'll be fined. There could be a potential stage 3 lockdown in the next 48 to 72 hours, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I mentioned yesterday, but there was a cruise ship that arrived with infected people last week in Sydney, and people just were allowed to get off and disembark last week, which is just utterly preposterous, just pathetic. I don't know if anyone knows who Mark Blum is, but he died from the coronavirus. I saw recently. For those who don't know who Mark Blum is, he was an actor. He was in Crocodile Dundee. He played the boss and the fiance of Linda Kozlowski. He was also in the first season of You, if anyone's seen You, and he's been in lots of other things. 69, died from the coronavirus. Crazy Chicken, we broke a daily record high today. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. At the moment, like I'm looking, there's been over 17,000 new positive tests that have positive cases in the US. Yeah. So anyway, how's everyone going? There's more things that I want to mention we can all talk about, and also just, chill a bit and, see how everyone's mental health is, because some people are very stressed and some people have instantly gone from having an income and just going about their lives to nothing. Brock says, we just went into lockdown today like 3 hours ago. So where are you from to have gone into this virus is bad. Hey Brenda, how you going? But if you think this is bad, look at documentary on Spanish flu. I know all about the Spanish flu, and it was awful. This has the potential to be as bad, if not worse, but only time will tell. And we do have better things to help people, but we're sorely under-equipped, but as they were back then. Yeah, it was horrible back then. And I remember saying yesterday in the chat, the reason it was called the Spanish flu wasn't because it originated there or anything, but it was because Spain was the only country really reporting true deaths and cases, because they weren't involved in the war at the time, so they were neutral, so they weren't having restrictions put on them by governments and military to not report things and look weak to their to the enemy. Yeah, the enemy. Sebastian says, "Come on, guys, let's give in. Let's start a donation train like I used to." That's right. Rock, South Africa. Yeah, like you're in lockdown with like 700 or 800 cases. India went into lockdown with just 500 or 600 cases. Australia is still not in lockdown with over 3,000 cases. Let me just look. South Africa, 927 you're up to. India is now up to 727. And I don't know. This is a you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't thing. With lockdown, and we don't know when it's lifted. My work shut, but I get 80% of my wages, so I'm fine. Well, yeah, because you're from the UK, which is great. Are people in Australia as awake and aware as you? Is refreshing. I don't think so. I think people are starting to realise, but like I'd mentioned yesterday, I saw this coming back in January, and I stocked up on everything I needed. Late January, early February, was telling people to do it. No one was listening. I talked about the two different strains of the virus, the L and the S. Blood type O, which has been documented in so far in 4 different countries doing tests on patients. Blood type O produces antibodies very quickly and very strong. Blood type A takes a lot longer to produce antibodies, and they're not as strong. So if you've got blood type A, you're weakened. If you've got blood type O, didn't mention any other blood types, or if it was A positive or A positive and negative, which was better, or whatever. But that's just the scientific literature and data coming out of the US, the UK, Spain, and Italy. I guess they can do stuff like that because of the amount of cases. They can get a little bit of data that shows something. What's the US up to, Crazy Chicken says? The US, at the moment, you've got nearly 85,500 cases, over 17,000 today, nearly 1,300 deaths, 82,000 active cases, 2,122 critical. You got Italy's death rate over 10%, about 10.2. It's pretty psychotic. Ford and Gamer, how you going, buddy? I haven't seen you for ages. I remember when you would accidentally spill coffee on yourself in a donation. Well, I don't have any coffee. In fact, I wouldn't mind going and making one soon. I haven't even eaten today because I've been doing keto, low carb, not deliberately doing keto, but last night for dinner, just for cheap, I had pasta, which would have broken my low carb. But I've, I think in the first month I lost 9 kilos. And then in the second month, I think I've lost 2. So I'm just, but I'm just eating better. And I'm only generally eating 2 meals a day. But been eating lots of veggies and stuff, high fat, good protein, lots of veggies. I've got everything from vitamin D and C and zinc and K2 and selenium and garlic and ginger and turmeric and all these things that if I'm not eating naturally, I've got tablets for it, and I'll try and get out and get some sun. I remember when you killed cockroaches for $1. That's right. That was that guy. He had the name of that Colombian drug lord. Can't think of his name. That was funny. Yeah. So what else was I going to mention? Yeah, my question was, with all these laws coming in, now people are saying, please bring them in, please lock us down. Don't want to use cash. Please track my movements or we'll accept it. Can't do anything. 1 or 2 years from now, say this is passed, for example, completely, hopefully, as in when there's not measures where they're tightened and then restrict, they sort of lax a bit and then tighten a bit and go back and forth, a bit like a rubber band to keep things not going too much of a spike. Will some, most, or all of these measures be kept in place because people have got used to them, and they should be there to keep us safe. Will we be in a dystopian society in a couple of years' time? I wonder. Now, right now, Australia is doing 10,000 tests a day. That's the capacity we've got at the moment. That's where we are. But we've got, I think, in the next few days, 1.5 million rapid coronavirus tests, blood tests are arriving in Australia in the next few days, where it's just a blood prick, a finger prick, and we'll be able to know. So that's something. Another thing I wanted to mention, because as I'd said yesterday, suddenly things that were important no longer seem important, like sports people, watching sports, watching movie stars getting paid $20 million and sports stars earning a certain amount. But in this country, like I think in pretty much every country, sports it's all been cancelled and all that gathering. But in this country, we've got sports where sports stars are complaining and trying to get at least 50% of their wages. And I'm thinking, you greedy people. Why should you get 50% of an already inflated pay packet for running around kicking a ball or whatever, when the rest of us who are told there's no job get zero money and have to go and try and get benefits? They should be lining up to get benefits as well. You're already earning millions. Deal with it like the rest of us have. Anyway, that's my little rant on sports people. Where are we up to? I'll just quickly... The US has a cruel healthcare industry. Money talks, no money. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. Thankfully, we've got a good healthcare system. I'll just give you a little example. I can go online on my phone, book an appointment with my doctor, and I can either see him today, tomorrow, or most likely within 48 hours. Go in, doesn't cost me a cent, doesn't cost me anything. Once a year, twice a year, whatever, I can have blood test, check your everything, a full blood test, everything. Doesn't cost me anything. I go and get a CT scan for my back to see where it is, and doesn't cost me anything. I had my injections into my spine 2 days ago, where they normally give you 2, and then you come back days later for the other 2. They were like, we're going to give you all 4 at once because of the virus, and we don't know, we don't know exposure to be increased. Doesn't cost me anything. My wife had 3 kids in the hospital, all Caesars, 3 days in there, didn't cost anything. So we're looked after in that sense, but in an emergency like now, governments have cut funding for decades to hospitals and health, where on any given day it's almost a breaking point. So we're screwed anyway. Another thing I was going to mention, in this country, most people who are already on some form of benefits, or you are entitled to things, like people with, like single parents with kids under 6 get some benefits, or we get a thing called family tax benefits. If you've got children under 16, you get money from the government anyway. There will be a payment in about 4 days of $750 to all those people that are looking for work, all the rest of it. And then another one, I think, in about 2 months. Anyone on any type of benefits whatsoever that are going to be on benefits or family, anything, they're going to start giving everyone $550 a fortnight extra than what they're getting for 6 months. Some banks are freezing mortgages for 6 months. I have to speak to mine to see if they will do that. Now, back in late January, early February, a large Chinese company sent out thousands of people to buy up all the face masks, hand sanitizers, etc., and shipped it all back to China. That's why there's none here for us. They bought up everything. Now, a second Chinese company has just, who are based in Sydney, flew more than 80 tons of medical supplies on a corporate jet to Wuhan in late February. So they had medical supplies, protective coveralls, 900,000 pairs of medical gloves. So it's just awful what's happening. Thanks, David, for the. Is that number? You trying to tell me something? Like yesterday, it was 420 because I know what that means, and this is the devil's number. If you believe in that rot, which I don't care if you do. The UK has a lot of part-time, small operation sports that are really wrecked by this, as far as local clubs, non-professional. Yes, same here. But I don't have any sympathy for sports stars. I mean, I have sympathy for everyone in the industry. But if you're a sports star and you're earning $10 million or $100 million or $6 million or even $800,000 a year playing a sport, and you're in the same boat as the rest of us, why should you say, well, I still want to get 75% or 50% of my money when everything's shut down? When things are shut down and you work in a club, a pub, a bar, a gym, and you're getting nothing, why should you still get half of that exorbitant amount of money? Get in line like the rest of us. Not fair. Testing kits are made in Australia, or are they imported? That, I believe, are imported. Because, when local manufacturing it doesn't exist in most countries. Most of it comes from China or, and all these other countries. There's a little bit. David, messing around, being an optimist has its perks. Yeah, I mean, all you can do is state facts, projections, opinions, statistics, and do with that what you want. Like I said yesterday, I'm a worst case scenario person. That way I'm always prepared. And if it doesn't become as bad as it is, then I'm happy. And I've got a good supply of stuff where I won't have to really buy anything for a while. But yeah, you can't get face masks. Everywhere I'm going, people, like when I had my injections, the doctor had a face mask and he had this big, like a welding hat thing down. Yeah, so it's really, I would love to have that, just, to be safe. Now, masks don't 100% protect you because they say, things get in the side and this and that. And if you pull them off at the front, if there's something on it, you've got it on your hands or your gloves. But, I mean, to me, the wearing a mask, whether it protects you 90%, 80%, 12%, it's better than surely not having any protection in that. And David says, worrying can be deadly. True. And the thing is, I actually feel I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about the virus, really. I'm more concerned about the financial aspects of what's going to happen. That's more of a concern for me. But because I'm do a lot of reading. I'm well informed with this. So I find some people don't like to know what's going on because it stresses them. I like to know what's going on because it keeps me up to date and I can deal with any stress. Right now, I'm not feeling any. I was a week ago. Jenny says, how many people have died in your country? I'll just check that it hasn't updated. Like there hasn't been more. At the moment, 13. Which it will increase, of course. What else was I going to mention? The other thing which is interesting is aged care facilities are still open in this country, and I find that very interesting. The supposed most vulnerable people in the country are still allowed to have people walking in who we already know will show no symptoms for a number of days, even a week or two, or people that are asymptomatic, and you're allowing aged care facilities to remain open. What does that tell you? Schools are still open, I mentioned. We've taken our kids out of school and preschool. We've been homeschooling them, and they've actually been loving it, which is good. Other thing is, my father flew back from Thailand on the 15th of March, and he was informed that a person on his flight in the row behind him has tested positive for COVID-19. He spoke to the Department of Health, and they said he doesn't need to be tested. I find that really bizarre. And it's just come out today that I've read. I just wanted to make sure that it was substantiated before I mention it, because I've seen it in quite a few places, reputable places, of lung damage, serious lung damage in a coronavirus patient who had no symptoms, absolutely no symptoms. It shows extensive damage to their lungs. So it really, and that's the other thing with this virus that I think is bothering people, is that you can recover or have no symptoms and suffer some pretty bad lung damage. So what is that? That doesn't bode well for the future, for when you're, it's almost like we're going to get rid of a lot of old people. There'll be some collateral damage with people of all ages. We can deal with that. But a lot of people who get it and are okay are going to have permanent lung damage. So when you get to that next level of age, you are way more susceptible to just basic things like a bad cold or a flu and other things. So nice hairline, thanks. I know I need to get a haircut. The hairdressers are still cutting hair. I think I'll just shave it. Because everyone is indoors and less pollution. It is. It's like the earth started smoking at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution and turned into a 100-pack-a-day smoker, and then they just quit smoking recently. Everything looks cleaner and fresher. It's weird. I can see more stars than what I should from where I am. Julia, you were here yesterday, weren't you? The benefit staff have too many people claiming for them to deal with in the UK. 1 million people registered for benefits today. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Great. I'm a big fan that never saw you for a long time. Awesome. Damn millennial. Laugh out loud, says David. So yeah, it's a lot of things to talk about, or I've mentioned. Like, because in Australia, health authorities are preparing for a hospital surge, like as it accelerates here. It's like there's the peak body for intensive care medicine. They're outlining an ambitious plan to double the number of ICU beds with ventilators to more than 4,000. I mean, that's great, but seriously, it is still not enough potentially. If it goes to where predictions and projections show, which I hope it doesn't, it won't. And you're going to have thousands of people dying because you've got thousands of people that are unable to get help and have to pick and choose who lives and who dies because of a health system that's been underfunded for years, because it's all about profit, not about people's health. Even though in this country we are looked after to a degree, but just in general, but yeah. And I'm just checking, just because there's always new stuff. There's just something I want to have a look about. They're saying that there's a glimmer of good news for Australia. The spread of coronavirus appears to not be behaving in the same way here in comparison to other countries which are faced with being overwhelmed. There's been an analysis, I'm just reading this now, by the Australian Health Protection Principal Committee, found the trajectory of the first 1,000 cases in Australia was somewhat different to Italy, the US, and the UK, where deaths have been higher. Australia passed 1,000 cases last Saturday. So what's that? 6 days ago. We're already over 3,000. Up to that point, only 7 people had died, and less than 20 had needed intensive care. That compared to more than 20 deaths in Britain, 30 in Italy, and 35 in the US at 1,000 infections. So it doesn't mean it's under control here. Well, we know that, as they're still exponentially growing. It doubling every few days. He said the death toll is still relatively low at 13 at 3,000 cases. Despite the lower level of casualties, the organization said that an influx of infected cruise passengers, as well as a number of super spreader events, meant more needed to be done to keep hold of the coronavirus. Well, stop letting people on boats. Yeah, and that's the other thing. We only have 94,000 hospital beds in the country. So good luck with that. Australia has a testing rate of 480 per 100,000 people, which they believe could be another reason, because they say that's 5 times higher than the UK. So that's pretty good. Just being given something to eat. I guess won't be doing low carb. What's this? Ooh. Little bit of avocado on that. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll just have a look. Sorry, guys, because I've probably missed a bunch of comments. They shut down care homes to visitors over 2 weeks ago in the UK. Not here. It's all open. Have you seen the blue skies on videos in China? I haven't yet. There's probably skies I haven't seen there for years. They were just grey, brown, gunky. Hey, Christian. Oh, that hurt. Hey, Christian, I haven't seen you for ages. Your foods are pretty good. Thanks, man. USA. The real Andre. What's the news on the scientists doing a formula to kill the coronavirus? Well, all I know about that is they're testing vaccines. They have discovered a certain HIV drug and a certain malaria drug can help in people who've got it. And there was something else. I couldn't find the article this morning, but I read last night just before I went to bed about something else that was discovered that they might be able to use as a vaccine to get your body to fight it faster or something. I can't remember what it was. It was some vaccine, tuberculosis, that was it. An old vaccine that hasn't been used since the 80s for tuberculosis. They said they'd done some trials with that showed that it really helped. So that's the next thing that they're trying, this 1980s tuberculosis vaccine that they said seems to trigger an immunity response to attack this virus very early or something. But I don't know enough about it yet to really talk about it, other than that's what I read last night, that they have discovered that may help. Side effect, how are you? I'm pretty good. I'm prepared. I'm at home. I'm still going out time to time for various things I need to, but Julia says they're turning an exhibition hall in London's Docklands into a 4,000-bed hospital. Jenny, what would be the best thing to do to not get the virus? Stay home, I guess. If that's possible, stay home. If you have no contact with anyone, there's no reason to get it, I guess. Australia's climate would be the reason for the difference. No, I don't think so. I mean, the climate's warm here. We've only just come out of summer. It's still warm. It's cooling off, but it's still warm most days. Like yesterday and today hasn't been. We got quite a bit of rain yesterday. It was about 22. Today's about 24 and cloudy. But over the next 4 or 5 days, we can see days that are high 20s and early 30s Celsius. That is. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But we'll see. The real Andre, I mean the virus in the air. Wait a minute. Well, there seems to be studies that show that this is airborne. It's like it seems to be everything. Seems to be a very highly contagious and potentially very damaging to your lungs in some people, even if you recover or have no symptoms, and can kill a lot of people. But what's actually killing a lot of people is not so much the virus itself, but is the lack of all about profit and not about helping and caring for people. So creating systems all around the world that can't cope with something like this. So you have people dying that would not have died because they can't get the help they need. They can't get the ventilators. They can't get the beds. And while, all those people that don't get that, had they all got the help, maybe still a third would have died. Maybe a half would have died, but not all of them would have. So that's going to cause the death rate to go up because there's not enough to help everyone. It won't mutate before the climate changes. Depends, like where the climate changes where, because where you are, you're going to be coming into summer. Where we are, we're coming into winter. So I don't know. I mean, it will mutate 100%. Whether it mutates in 2 months or in 2 years or in 12 years, I don't know. I mean, that's why we have so many different flus and colds, and they mutate. I often mutate into something that's not too bad. Every now and then they mutate into something that's pretty sucky, like this. But I would suspect that the next mutation of this virus, when discovered, will be it may still be fairly contagious, but I think it'll be very weak. It'll just be like getting a cold. Have you ever eaten or made gyros? No. I used to watch all your videos a few years ago. Awesome. Can the scientists kill the coronavirus in the air? Well, you can't. That's the thing. You can't kill a virus because it's not alive. It's not a living thing. That's why you cannot kill it. The only thing that can kill it is your own body. But your own body is the only thing that can make it do damage because it needs a host. It's viable on surfaces, but it's not living. That's the weird thing. It needs to get into your body, to get into your cells, for your body to then replicate it and do all these things. And your body needs to go and get rid of it through its antibodies. That's why you can't kill it. That's why you can kill bacteria because it's alive, where virus is not alive. Hey, Mo Man. Hello, yo. How you going, buddy? I haven't seen you for a long time. Julia, I got very cheap food today because so many people are staying in. 23p a month. Oh, food's gone up. That's really good. Food's gone up here. Like in a lot of places, food is like they're price gouging. And their excuse, because their stocks are low. Because your stocks are low, demand is high. You're going to price gouge. You've already made an absolute killing in people overbuying. And now you've gone and put the price up. So people who really need it, who may not be able to afford it, who've lost a job, can't now afford that or have to buy something. 2 months ago, or even a month ago, even 2 weeks ago, you could buy lettuce, like iceberg lettuce, like that big. 99 cents to $2. I'm seeing it for $9. I'm like, get a grip. I don't buy that, so I don't care. For me, it's like it's not going to affect my wallet. We eat cos lettuce, which is still $3 for two, big cos lettuces that big. So that's not too bad. My leg's going a little bit numb. I might have to. I might go in 5 minutes, just make a coffee, and then come back. Like I won't leave. Go Fish is here! Woohoo! Alma says, from article you read, pill's name is Summer. It's made in my country. Okay, cool. A gyro, pronounced gyro, is a Greek sandwich consisting of spun bread and meat. Oh wow, that's I don't know why, but I suddenly had this image of eating that, and it just was really good. Yes, hello, my good friend. Thanks, Fish. Well, now that you've arrived, I have to put on the song that you like. There you go. It's freezing cold in the UK. Really? I suppose you're only just coming out of winter, I guess. Someone on television said that it can live on cardboard for up to a day. Like, well, whatever it is, it can live on various surfaces for hours to days. Last night, I got the kids ready for bed and brushing their teeth, and they brushed their teeth and they did spits. And then Scarlett, who's 3, came up to me and said, I have to wash my hands, Daddy, so I don't get the coronavirus. I said, okay, darling. So I have to wet my hands first, and then I've got to put the soap on. She did all the wash and this, and I said, oh, good girl. I prefer to drink black coffee. Since things are happening so fast, I'm just going to have a quick update to see if there's, anything more's going on. Utterly ridiculous. Go Fish. Always good to be here. The fish loves this lovely stream. America food, basically. Well, Donald Trump decides to send everyone back to work for the sake of the economy, and look, I don't know. It's a really weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Maybe if an asteroid hadn't killed, where'd that go? Maybe if an asteroid hadn't killed the dinosaurs, maybe they'd have died of a plague. The Ford game. A store near me had to throw away a lot of their stock because a lady was purposefully coughing and spitting. I read that. I think it was last night. I read that. I was like, wow. Some people just do not take this seriously, and it's like, it's not about you. It's about the greater community. Viruses are just a bundle of mutated DNA, yeah, and like this one, I think it's RNA, makes it even more mental. Thanks, Fish. I'm glad you like this song. Although sugar and cream can make coffee taste good, black coffee with nothing added is undoubtedly the most natural flavor. Yeah, I don't add sugar to my coffee. All right, on that note, guys, I'm just going to go and make myself a coffee, but I will be back. So talk amongst yourself, and geez, I hope I do not spill this coffee on myself. I haven't spilled coffee on myself for a while, but, I haven't had a coffee while doing a chat for a while, so that's pretty much probably why. Let me just check this. I shall be back soon. I'm just gonna make a coffee. Oh! Alrighty, got my coffee, which I spilled walking down the hall with. So hopefully that's my spilling out of the way. Alrighty. So I don't know who's still here. Sebastian. I don't know if Sebastian's still here. Sebastian donated 3 times, which is really cool. Thank you very much. We got a mini donation train going. Got good old David with his donation. Now where are we up to? I see Julia. It took ages to find toilet paper. Last night when I was shopping, some people were still panic buying. There's no. I haven't seen toilet paper in the shops for a while. Thankfully, I still have enough for a bit because I've mentioned I bought lots of things that I needed. Bought lots of things I needed before there was any issue. Where are we up to? Alrighty. I don't know, laddie. Well, where are we? I'm just going to check some more stats, see if anything has updated. Wow. So I'm just checking the news. So patient 0 at Wuhan market identified. Interesting. But it's hard for me to believe a lot of stuff from China, but let's see. It says the first person from the Wuhan market where the coronavirus pandemic likely began to test positive for the virus was a woman selling live shrimps, according to a document leaked to media. The 57-year-old seafood merchant at Wuhan, who having identified a woman named Wei Yaxian, first started to feel sick on December 10. Well, if that's the case, and you need to change this to COVID 10, not COVID-19. Because COVID-19, I'm sure some or all of you probably know already, stands for the CO for the coronavirus, the VI for virus, the D for December, and the 19 was the 19th of December when the first case was discovered. So if this is now patient 0, then it needs to be COVID-10. COVID-19 has a different ring to it, though, doesn't it? Hope you're okay. Sure, can't seem to get a break. Yeah, we had the fires, billions of deaths of animals, people, property, drought, followed by cyclones and storms and flooding, now a virus. Oh, there was 70 today, windy and cloudy. Wow, I'm a bit tired today. That's what I wanted to check. Excuse me. Well, it's dropping, so it's snortily. So there you go. There's okay, moves to put economy in deep freeze in Australia. Australia's leaders are meeting today to consider toughening lockdown measures while also seeking to effectively put the economy on hold to save as many jobs and businesses as possible. So they want to destroy your job in order to save it. Sounds weird, but I understand the logic in that. So I don't know what this is going to mean. So yeah, there's nothing new. Just they're meeting to discuss what their next steps are. The steps that they're taking in this country, it's almost like a dog chasing its tail. It's like you need to get ahead, and they're going, "Oh, let's go there. Oh, let's go there. Oh, let's go there." You need to go, and even do that noise, because that sounds pretty strange. Going to be 46, so it's going to be chilly and then warm here and all the rest of it. Coffee still feels a bit too hot. Okay, that's the one. That's the one I want to latte. So I should probably go onto eBay. Just sorry guys, quickly. I got a message from my coffee machine saying I need to replace the filter, and I looked everywhere and I can't find any. So I'm like, well, that's great. I don't have any. So I need to go and buy some because I'd like to have coffees that taste good. They all look the same. I figure that's probably it. Now, my concern is where's it coming from? I need to look at nearest distance because the borders are closed. Like the borders are closed around my state. Like Queensland shut their borders, and $52 for a 6-pack. Are you drunk? $13 for one filter? What in the what? Why are they so expensive? I've never seen them that expensive before. Good grief, man. That's a lot. I just told guys, it's in the kitchen where the drink bottles are for the kid. You know, those bottles above the stove. So, hey, look, I don't even. You guys are just talking amongst yourselves. I don't even need to bother doing anything. There's no questions. So you guys just talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just check in every now and then, see if there's anything you're asking of me. So these are clearly a rip-off on eBay because I can buy them here for way cheaper in Australia. The question is where you're coming from. I don't know what my coffee coffee machine is. Good grief, mate. All right, I'll do that. Oh, minimum. Yeah, funny that. Come on, laddie. Thank you. I think everything I want to do pay in PayPal right now. All right. So, anyone got any questions for me? Oh no, we aren't starting with yawning again, are we? Oh no, I hope not. Was I yawning? It is always great to see you. Thank you, fish. I was very careful. Another thing, you guys may remember, may not remember. I drink Campos coffee, right? I buy it in bulk. If I buy 6 kilos, I get it for about $44 or $45 a kilo, and free postage. I discovered some beans. I thought I want to try to save money on this, so I found some beans at Aldi for 1 kilo bags. Instead of paying $45, it was $11.49, and I thought we'll give it a go. I've tried various in the past, different types of cheap from all over, and they're usually awful. This is the nicest coffee I've ever had, and I'm like, I can have a 1 kilo bag for $11.50 instead of $45. What a saving! So this is an Aldi coffee. Have any cyclones ever affected you? Not me personally. We don't get them where I live. It's more up north where it's more tropical. But we did have what was declared a mini cyclone a couple of months ago. Or so, and it was just bizarre. I felt like the house was going to blow away. Julia says a British paper did a video on your country's political stuff on the virus about 9 hours ago. That'd be interesting to see. If you've got a link or the paper or the video or anywhere where I can have a look at some point, I'd be very curious to see the reporting and the perception of another country. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Delivery of little mini rolls with avocado. So I'm set. 2 mini rolls with avocado, coffee, water. In fact, as I'm eating, I'll just be back in a sec. I just want to get my tablets. Like I take a lot of tablets to keep my immune system good, even though I think it's pretty good at the moment. I'll be back in a sec. Oh, just got a bunch of my tablets. Vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, garlic, K2. I've got my iodine, liquid kelp. Got my show stream water. Just got to put this in. One drop's all you need. All right. Yeah, so how is everyone doing? Julia says, have you got a good coffee dessert recipe? I don't know. Let's have a look. Coffee. Coffee walnut mug cake. Coffee cake in a mug. I typed in the word coffee on my channel and I've got help you to poop smoothie. I don't know why that comes up with coffee. Chocolate espresso muffins. You know what? I should do another video. I haven't for so long, just how my garden's going with, the things I'm growing and whatever. And things aren't always, like I have things that they're all, clearly everything's seasonal. But with things being seasonal, there's things that are ready, nearly ready. There's some things like chilies. They all year round, chilies just grow. Mine do anyway. Interesting. Okay, so it says, I've just seen an article, it says 10% of recovered patients test positive for COVID-19 again. Now, are they testing positive because of there's two strains of it? Or because, when you have a virus and you've recovered from it, it's never completely gone. It's just there's still a tiny amount in you that is undetectable, that's dormant. That's why things like chickenpox come back later as shingles in a lot of people, because they need to be triggered through an immunity response, or something will trigger it. So just having a look, saying doctors on the front lines of the outbreak of the virus report that between 3 and 10% of cured patients became reinfected with the illness, though it's unclear whether they were contagious the second time. So far, there is no evidence to suggest that they are infectious. So 5 patients who tested positive again did not have any symptoms, and none of their close contacts had been infected. So that's interesting, but it's very that's not enough of a real case study to be definitive in any way, but it's certainly interesting. Hey, crazy chicken, yeah. Marshmallow bread. I haven't forgotten, but we haven't got to that point. I think I said to get to marshmallow bread, we need to have either 200 likes on the video or 100 people in the chat. But you want to do that? Start smashing the like button. Hit the like button, and it might start getting into featured or recommended sections, and more people can come and like and watch, and then we can do the marshmallow bread. And also, don't forget to also click the bell, because what's been happening on YouTube is YouTube has been unsubscribing people and taking the bell that people have clicked away for whatever reason. I don't know, deliberate, accidental, errors, whatever. But so many people have said to me, I've been subscribed to you for 7 years, and then the other day I went to watch you and I was unsubscribed. So hit that like button. Let's try and get to 50, and we'll try and get to 60. If anyone doesn't have this, try and get some of this. It's so good. That's a high dose. 1 drop's all you need once a day. I mean, we've had this. I've been like, where is it? It's down to about here. So it's not. We didn't just buy it because of the virus or anything. You can see it's like about half, or I think it's slightly below half. So, and we have a drop. So we've had that for a long time. Go fish. I made marshmallows from tweaking your marshmallow cake recipe again lately. So good. Nice. Crazy chicken. Assuming the tornado season doesn't interfere. Okay, I need to go back. I could donate in the future. Well, that would be really appreciated, but like only if you can afford. I don't ask for donations, but I certainly appreciate them. As you guys know, I don't do these for donations, but I'll always accept them because times are tough, and they're a lot tougher for a lot more people than they were 6 months ago. So Kush says, "Wow, I'm being ignored." I just haven't seen your comment. Hey, how you going, man? Oh yeah. Oh man, you've been writing heaps. I'm just scrolling back. Used to watch how to make gummy videos and bubble gum. Awesome, thanks, man. There were lots of my signature videos. Remember gummy bears, pink bubble gum, Mm. Yeah, I wasn't ignoring you. I just didn't see. I was. I don't know. 47 likes. Mm. That's interesting. So there's a Saudi billionaire had a mystery flight to New Zealand. They said questions are circling after a $98 million private jet owned by a Saudi billionaire landed in locked down Christchurch after dark last night. Well, I wonder. As travel bans see virtually all global air traffic grounded, a high-end private jet owned by a Saudi billionaire last night landed in Christchurch. Well, I don't think rules apply to the rich. Do they? Honestly, when have they? Tell me. They create the rules. You know. Well, so as I was saying before, I didn't know at what point the Greenwich Mean Time reset. It has. So for a full 24-hour period, the US reported 17,224 new cases, 268 new deaths. Italy reported 6,203 new cases, 712 deaths. Spain reported 8,274 cases, 718 deaths. So the most deaths reported in any country for the last 24 hours was Spain. All because they held that festival when they were told not to, where a lot of people that went to that festival were from Italy. Push. It's fun chilling with simple cooking. I hope you make it through this horrible crisis. I hope we all do. Everyone stay safe. Be vigilant. Um, if you can stay at home, I mean, honestly, to me, that's the best thing. You can't catch it or spread it if you're at home. But some of us, unfortunately, have to go out and about. John, thanks, and also help my mother clean the house, the outside area. Managed to deep fry pork chop with some spicy honey and pineapple sauce. Oh, yum! Yesterday for lunch, I had my wife made sun choy bao, which is always so good. And I went outside to the garden and cut off one of our chilies and cut it up all fine and mixed that in with it. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, righty. Well, there you go. Righty. Oh. So you guys still want me to continue doing this chat? I can still continue doing this. I don't mind. It's just most of you seem to have disappeared, and most of the rest of you left are talking amongst yourselves, which is fine. But Crazy Chicken. Remember Nick Kraft? I saw him the other day, believe it or not. Wow, like in person, or you just saw him somewhere on YouTube? Because I do remember Nick Kraft. Also, at some point, guys, I'm not not yet. I'll wait a little bit. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and now that the coronavirus is sort of the only thing that sort of seems to be happening and people talking about, I don't want to feel like people think like I'm trying to take advantage, but I do make my own hand sanitizer, but I can't get my hands on rubbing alcohol. So I will at some point. I'll probably make two different types of non-alcoholic hand sanitizer, just to help you guys out, or because there's so many different ways. You can use different essential oils because some of them are antibacterial, some are antifungal, some are anti this and anti that. Some just smell good. And I've grown my own aloe vera plants, so I use that in all of them because people go and buy aloe vera gel or liquid or whatever. I've got my own plant, so I do all that from scratch. Some you put glycerine or glycerol in it, others you put witch hazel, all these different things, different ways to make it. So I'll probably do 2 videos or 2 different ways to make some hand sanitizer in like a pump action, not a spray because it's too thick to spray. So I might do that in I'm not in any rush, maybe in a week or 2. That way, if you guys are interested in wanting to be able to make your own, if you've got the ingredients or something similar. Kush, how's everyone doing besides being in quarantine? Well, we're not in quarantine, but I think a lot of people are, or they're in complete isolation, lockdown, not allowed to leave, whatever. Not here. We can still go out and vote and get a haircut, but get fined for being too close to someone. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. What song is playing in the background? This song is, where is it? This is from my friend's band Gristle. Can't remember what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, actually. Because it just says like track 4. Didn't bring across the name. It's been so long. Oh, yeah, here we go. Everything else is same. Go Fish Office, where are you from? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's weird here, isn't it? Like there's people in lockdown where it's not as bad as Australia, but here we're not in lockdown. We're in what you call a certain level 2 lockdown or shutdown. People can come and go as they please, do what you want, but it's really weird. Like you can't have a wedding with more than 5 people, but you can have a funeral with 10 people. You need to stay 4 square meters away in an enclosed building. You have to be 1.5 meters apart for social distancing, but you can get your hair cut and you can go and vote. And you can get on a train and you can be like, well, like there's so much contradiction. The schools are open. It's just so contradictory. It's hard for people to know what to do. Personally, I would prefer if they just came out and said total lockdown, everything, even home delivery, takeaway, close it down. For 3 or 4 weeks, just reset, slow it, get ahead of the curve. Because if that happens, I've got no reason to go out. I can survive for a month without having to go to the shops or do anything. We're stocked up. Hey, Carla. Oh, you go back to your TikTok. Enjoy. Jason from Supercorn, are you reading my chats? What, your comments, Eric? I did. Okay, there's one up here. Jason from Simple Cooking Channel. So that video you made on how to make a marshmallow cake, did it taste like a real marshmallow? Oh yeah, 100%. It was marshmallow. I just instead of making. See, normally you'd make a marshmallow, a big thing, and then you cut it into size or whatever and dust it. That was just a large one. I didn't cut into pieces. It was awesome. Oh. Julie, I can't use alcohol hand wash. It gives me contact dermatitis. Good idea. Yeah, so in a week or two, or I don't know, when I sort of get around to it, I'll do 2 videos, 2 different types, just so it helps people that maybe they don't or can't get 1 or 2 of the ingredients from one. Chances are they can get the stuff for the other or combine it. It's, the one constant between both is aloe vera gel. If you can get that, or if you're lucky enough like me to, like we grow our own aloe vera, we've got like 8 or 10 big plants, so I can just cut a whole leaf, a whole stem thing like that big and get heaps out of that. So yeah. Everybody's peaceful, going on the inside. But come tomorrow, who knows how I feel? Up and down like a yo-yo, my mind cannot heal. Guess I'm a chameleon. Hi. I learned something new. Thanks. Did you ever have burger salad? I don't think so. It sounds familiar. I have a feeling we discussed that in a chat like months or even a year ago, maybe. For the person who it looks normal, I don't know what that is. Eric, hey Jason from Simple Cooking. Do you think if we were to make that marshmallow cake, I could use 2 cups of sugar instead of 3 cups of sugar? You could try, but marshmallow is essentially sugar. But you could try and see how it goes. But there's ratios for a reason. And things can vary a bit, but give it a try and see what happens. One thing, I'm not going to get a chance. I just realized I'm not going to get a chance to watch it. I've been watching the new TV series Star Trek Picard and really enjoying it. So I don't know if any of you, just changing subject. Oh, Prime Video's got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood now. Oh my goodness, because I've not seen it, so that's good. Yeah. Oh, turn that off. It seems that there's a few people not too happy with this chat. Quite a few dislikes. For those of you who haven't hit the like button, can you just hit the like button for me, please, just to make sure that the like percentage is at least above 90, because that looks good for people that want to click on it in the future. So can you guys that haven't, please click the like button. It's already gone up too. Thank you. Oh, on the video, there's a like. Just click it. Should be like just below the video. That's more like it. There we go. We've got a few more likes. That'll help keep the video in the green, so to speak. Once it goes under 90, it goes yellow. It doesn't look good, and it makes people not want to click on it. They think, oh, whoa, getting a few more likes. Excellent. Come on, people, hit the like button for those who haven't. Truly, we can only buy from supermarkets, general stores, newsagents, chemists, and takeaways, but not chain stores or big franchises like McDonald's and store online. So it's weird because you can get takeaway. Like, for example, people who work, say, at a pizza delivery or whatever. There's no way you can possibly do social distancing, because you could have 10 people in the store working on a busy night like a Friday or a Saturday who are this close to each other, who have to make pizzas, like 3 or 4 of you lined up in a row this close. I can tell you, none of those people are going to be wearing masks because there aren't any to buy. Everyone will be wearing gloves, that's for sure. And people will be wiping down things and doing all you can, but you can't do social distancing. And then you get people who may or may not be sick who don't want to tell you. Then you've got the drivers going out delivering to people who sometimes still want to pay cash. And there are policies, I know, here with no contact deliveries, but it's an option. It should just be there are no contact deliveries. So I don't know. It's a real grey area. $55 likes. That's not too bad. Let's see what that brings the percentage to. All right, where is the percentage? Oh, and I managed to get through my coffee without spilling it. Whoa, almost spilled it down. No, number 3. We're at 90%. We've just got there. Give me a few more likes if you can. Try and push it up to 91 or 92%. Because it will only take one negative to bang it right down. Probably the guy we banned earlier. Probably. I think there's 6. I think there were 3 before I even started it. Just 3 people came along with me. It's like, that'll teach you. Mwah, mwah. Hey, how are you? Hope all will be safe. I'm good so far. How about you? How are you going? Where are you situated? I haven't got a like button, probably because I'm on a phone. Yeah, I don't know. 57 likes, or is that 58 now? Woohoo! Oh. Alrighty. Jason from Simple Cooking Channel. Do you still have that Lego Man mold that you used to make a giant dummy Lego man? I do. I think so. I unless the kids have like destroyed it, but I'm pretty sure I saw it a little while ago. I actually have a feeling they took it to the beach maybe and made Lego sandcastles. I'm not sure. Like last year. I will follow the host on my way out. I had to queue in a long distance in line to shop, and the shop assistant I paid had a mask and gloves on. I had to stand behind a barrier through the till area. That's what you want. Oh, I am already a follower. Hey Jason, is the drought over? I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, after the fires and all that drought, we had quite a lot of rain and we had lots of bad storms and lots of flooding. But I don't think the drought affected areas probably reduced, but there's still places that would be still in drought that didn't get enough. But I'll see if I can actually see how much we had. Like 97% of New South Wales, for example, was in drought. So I'll see what that is now. What? Oh, okay. So this was about 5 weeks ago. It says drought remains diabolical for most of New South Wales. So more than 99% of the state remains in drought, despite record rainfall, in which, as Sydney recovers from the worst drought on record, the situation is still diabolical for most of the state and what is likely to create tensions. Okay. Data present to the government this week shows 99.4% of New South Wales is still in drought, with about 1/3 in the highest category called intense drought. Now, this is from the 18th of February, so I want to see if there's something that's a bit more up to date, if there's a bit better, because we have had some rain here and there, but yeah, okay, so still in a lot of drought, still in drought. So yeah, geez. Eric, Jason from Spookman Show. I want to let you know that I'm a fan of your channel on YouTube. Thanks, man. Push this. Oops. Yes. Jason from Spookman, you should get your wife to come see your live YouTube chat. I think she's homeschooling the kids at the moment. Oh, it's gone up to 22, then down to 12. It's like the stock market. What has? Oh, right, the people watching. Greg, hello. Hey, Greg. Jason, it's a book cooking channel. Have you ever been to Minnesota? No, I haven't. I've been watching cooking channels since I was 8. How old are you now? There used to be a craze in the 70s Britain for rabbit-shaped jelly molds. Interesting. So we're going to find out if there's any new measures coming in soon here. Like We're going to put thousands more of you out of work, but you can still get your hair cut. And please vote. Ridiculous. That's right. That's ridiculous. Don't forget, people, hit the like button. Let's get that like up to 100. Then we're really talking. I haven't seen David for a while. David Boucher, I'm guessing he left. He donated $6.66. He always donates numbers that correlate to things like 420, 666. Sometimes he'll do 333. And Sebastian, who donated 3 times to try to do a donation train. It was a mini train. Thanks to those guys, but I think they're long gone. I've been doing this chat for nearly 2 hours. Thanks for hitting the like button when you joined. Hit that like button, people, if you haven't. Push. I can't donate. I'm too young. That's all right. You don't have to donate. I don't ask for donations. I just, for people that do donate, I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank them. Do you get hose pipe bans? I don't know what that is. What does that mean? You mean like water restrictions? Oh. It's a very interesting time. What about your weather services? Have you checked their channel? What does that mean? I mean, weather for which? Jason, FRI. Fetch. Really igloo? I don't know. Okay, the best song ever. Dang it, I gotta go already. Alright, well anyway, thanks for coming by. Eric says, do you know if people can fly to Australia right now with the coronavirus? No, our borders are shut. See you, Kush. Well, thanks for being here for quite a while. Thanks for coming. Thanks. Hit that like button, people. Hit that like button. Honestly, probably doesn't really matter if you do or not. This is a prime example of not giving a crap about people. Remember I was telling you at the beginning of the chat how there's elections going on in Queensland? And these are just council elections. They're not even... Who gives a rat? Who gives a rat's? Queensland's Electoral Commission says workers in a crowded call centre are exempt from social distancing rules. But some staff have walked out. I don't blame them. I'd walk out too. Workers at a crowded... Wow. Have been told they're exempt from social distancing rules designed to limit the spread of coronavirus. One worker has told AAP that she and others walked out of the call centre fearing they could become infected. The woman who asked not to be named said conditions were cramped, with staff working in pairs inside small cubicles to process phone votes. Well, I thought then the police, with these new laws passed the other day, would be fining. Oh no, voting is important for stupid council people. Like, get stuff. The cubicles are no more than 1.5 meters wide and you've got two little cubicles. No. She said there were about 120 people cramped into the centre at any given time. This is another thing. Social distancing. We're going to fine you, but we need to vote, and you need to get your hair cut. Yeah, stop. It's all or nothing. You either do social distancing or you don't. Have you people noticed that the Trump administration don't do any social distancing? They have a press conference and they all stand shoulder to shoulder. Trump has his hands on the whatever you call that thing where the mic is, and then the next person gets up, puts his bare hands in the same spot and talks. Trump comes back, puts his hands on the same spot, and they're like this close to each other. There's just no social distancing whatsoever with Trump's administration. Be right back, Siswish. Eric, what news channel do you watch in Australia? I'm not big on mainstream media, particularly if it's run by Murdoch. So I sort of source my stuff all over the place. I prefer SBS or the ABC. But I do a lot of scientific literature reading and stuff. Try to corroborate things if I can. Julia says, yeah, you're not allowed to water your garden or clean your car with a hose. I don't think we are. They brought in restrictions here, and then we had this giant rain and flooding, so I don't know if they were lifted, but I don't care about washing my car. Seriously, you get a day of rain, it's pretty clean. And we've had a fair bit of rain off and on, so I don't need to water my garden. Podium, that's it. Yeah. They go and they stand there and talk, and they put their hands on this spot. Trump walks off. Pence comes up, same spot. Pence walks off. Then this little short dude, hands in the same spot. Then you got Pence and that same dude standing behind Trump with their shoulders this close to each other. They do not adhere to any social distancing. I don't know what is wrong with them. I just do not know. Hey, cool. Thanks, Bardo. Kush. Go see my chat that I posted 10:18. I will have to check that out later. Well, my video's in the recommended on the YouTube page with a whole 18 of us watching. Just shows, doesn't matter. The UK had rain and hail and snow in the last month. Wow. Crazy Scuttle Dog. Trump is an idiot. Well, I have to agree in the sense that when social distancing is what you need to do, and they're not practicing it themselves. It's very irresponsible because there are people who will watch and go, "You don't need to do it. You do." Like any measure is good. Uh, why was Julia's comment the UK had rain and hail and snow last month? Why was that? Why was that? Why was it hidden? Why did you hide Julia, Go Fish, when she said the UK had rain and hail and snow? And then she said, "Where's what?" Yeah, I'm just curious why, because Julia's been here for ages, and yesterday she seems really nice. I'm just curious as to why she was hidden for telling me that it's raining and hailing and snowing. I assume maybe that was a mistake. All right, cool. I hope you're still here, Julia. It was just an error. Usually in the UK, it depends on the water company who runs your water service, so it just depends where you live. Okay. Yeah. Watch the PM's virus update live. Well, I can't watch video from here for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, so I'm going to find out what sort of lockdown or whatever we're in. My guess is who will a few industries will be told to close. Maybe finally hairdressers, which is just ridiculous that you can get your hair cut. You can't observe social distancing while getting your hair cut unless you get a giant, like secateurs type scissors on a 5-foot pole, and they stand back cutting. That'd be funny. We'll have to see. Kush is back. How do? Oh, okay. You're asking other people. Don't forget, people, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes, because if I get to 100 likes, you know what'll happen? Absolutely nothing, because it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, may as well. Why not? Why not try and get to there just for the sake of whatever? So I'll have to leave by 3 because my kids have their next sports lesson. They've done all their homeschooling. They had to do 10 minutes of all these sports things this morning, which involved star jumps and all these other things. And now I think they've got to do push-ups and plankings and crunches at 3 o'clock. 3 lots of 30 seconds of 3 different things and something else. Keeping them active. Doesn't look like there's any new likes. Probably no new people. Now, watch the BBC if you can. They are one of the most impartial news services in the world. I can't get the BBC here, but I'm able to watch it on YouTube. So when they post stuff on YouTube, I do watch the BBC because I like the way they present, and they seem quite impartial and just present facts that are coming in, if you believe those facts coming in. But don't watch RT unless you want to laugh at Russian propaganda. Yeah, so I do check out the BBC on YouTube. I'm trying to find, because I'm used to watching on the TV YouTube, and trying to see where I can watch something. Like on the TV, there's sections that makes it easy to watch. News and breaking and all these sections, and I don't know where any of that is on the PC. I might just have to not bother with that for now. Videos, anything like trend, subscriptions, more from YouTube, shows, gaming, live, settings, history, live. What does that mean if I hit live? Oh, it shows people doing the live stuff. Watch ABC Live. Ah, so the Prime Minister's talking now. I don't know what he's saying because I can't really have this on. But I guess I'll have to watch it later. Just want to know what's the new thing. Anyway, sorry for sort of rambling. Is the coronavirus airborne? Yes. Scientists have showed that it's airborne. It's in droplets, in breath. Kush, is it okay if I refer to you as Jason? Sure, that's my name. Be right back. Got a phone call. And contact. Yeah, I'll only do this for like another 15, 20 minutes or so. Back's getting a bit sore. I had all 4 injections into my spine 2 days ago, which I've never had done before. I normally get them 2 at a time, days apart, recovery, but wow. Any new people in the chat, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button, please. We're trying to get to 100 likes because when we get to 100 likes, we all collectively get to win nothing. Woohoo! Extra like, a nothing win. But anyway, thanks for all that. So what's this twit of a Prime Minister saying? What's he saying?
And we are doing everything we can.
Oh, you're not doing everything we can. You're telling hairdressers they can stay open, and you're letting people off cruise ships, and you're holding bloody friggin' elections, but then you're fining someone in the street for not standing far. You're just no idea. It's just get a grip. Hello, I'm from India. Hey, Amrita. Julia. RPM used to be the mayor of London, as well as currently being the MP for Uxbridge, which London district north of where I live. Oh. How many streams have you stream watchers watched? Is that a question or is that like a tongue tie? I don't know what that means. What is the scenario in Australia? Over 3,000 cases, about 350 new cases today, I think it was. What else? There's 13 deaths so far. We're not in any real lockdown. They've just pretty much locked down certain businesses that destroys people's living and want social distancing, but let people get haircuts and go and vote and cram into things. And it's just a mixed message. Schools are still open. It's just lots of mixed messages. So, yeah. So, who knows? We'll see what happens. We can't get any face masks or hand sanitizer or anything like that because 2 Chinese companies bought everything up in January and late February. So there was nothing left for us to have. So I don't have any face masks. I have gloves. It's the one thing I've got. I have gloves. Oh, so you're asking how many streams has everyone here watched of mine? I don't even know how many I've done. I wonder. I'm curious. How many streams would I have done? I reckon I've probably done, I don't know, maybe a few hundred. Eric, I want to let you know that the government of Minnesota has ordered a shelter in place for tomorrow, starting at 11 p.m., which is the next day, which is Saturday. Has ordered a shelter in place. Huh? What does that mean? Like a lockdown where you shelter at home? Oh yeah, and here's the Australian chief medical officer, another twit, who after telling people to stop shaking hands, a week later tried to shake hands of the host of the ABC program. He's like, "Hey, here you go." And you're like, "What the hell are you doing? Stop trying to shake my hand. You're the chief medical officer. How can I pay attention to what you're saying when you're trying to shake people's hands after telling them not to?" Stuff with the image. Just, you know, yeah, Twits is right. In India, complete lockdown is going on until 15th of April. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Lockdown before it takes off. Get it early and try and slow it. Here, it's just going to doubling every 3 days here. Every 3 days doubling. Still no complete lockdown or anything. Confusing mixed messages, and I also believe that if you're going to lock people down, you also need to lock down all takeaway places, because it doesn't work. Because the people in those places, whether it's a fast food or whatever, are working in close proximity to make all that stuff to get it out to you people. Lock everything down other than supermarkets and hospitals and doctors and pharmacies and things like that, because that can be monitored. You can have social distancing and all the rest of it, but you can't in a fast food, pizza, KFC, whatever joint. You can't. It's just not possible. You've got 2 or 3 people working in the store, maybe 4, you can safely work. But when you've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in a small space, working shoulder to shoulder to make whatever they make, no, can't happen. Shelter in place means that we can travel on the roads to go up north. Okay, it's airborne, like, because it's a lung disease. I mean, it's not airborne because it's a lung disease, but it goes into your lungs. Jason, hell, that was Jason from Simple Cooking. Oh, does anyone here, if I was to say the Man Bush, does anyone know what movie Man Bush is from? Poor fools thought it was a bush. Anyone know what movie that's from? I suspect David would, but I don't think David's here anymore. He's a right-wing chump like. That's the thing that I've noticed around the world, that countries with not necessarily right versus left, but countries with leaders that are quite far to the right, although this is the right, but leaders that are far to the right versus leaders that are middle to far to the left are well behind. Their focus is money and economy. The right, look at Australia, slow to act. Look at the US, slow to act, like don't test, don't tell. Then you've got countries in Europe with the right, slow to act. Countries on the left, like New Zealand and Canada, fast to act, slowing down things. We've lost over 500 people. Oh, you're from the UK, aren't you? Yes, let's have a look. The UK, 578 deaths, 11,658 confirmed cases. So that, just by looking at that without actually doing the calculations, around 5%, probably 4.9, but anyway, let's have a look. 578 divided by 11658 as a percentage, 4.96%. It's getting up there. And then Italy, it's over 10, but I'll do the actual divided by 80,000, 589%, 10.19%. Spain's creeping up. Divided by 7.86%, 7.55% death rate in Spain. Jesus, not good. And look at South Korea's tough and great test, very good early testing, and the measures they've done. They're still getting cases, but it's not exponentially going up. They're getting like 100, 120, 140 cases a day. where other countries, and they were one of the first, because they did stuff, it didn't turn into an Italy or a US. And their death rate, 1.49, 1.5%. They have done it where the system is coping. Australia's death rate's still very low, but that's going to go up. 13 out of 3,050 cases. Our death rate's like 0.43%. But unfortunately, that's gonna start to go up. I expect in the next, what's today? I expect by Monday the death rate in Australia will be 20, 25 or more. And then you've got other countries with, I think it was Indonesia. Let me see if I can find Indonesia. Didn't look like their death rate was very good at all at the early stage. Like they're still at the early stage, and where are they? Indonesia, 78 divided by 893, 8.73% death rate. It shouldn't be that high this early, like this early. Terrible. Now, sorry if I've been missing comments. People who haven't liked, like the video. Let's get the likes up to 100. Eric says, I want to let you in that all the movie theaters in this are all closed. Yeah, same here. Just use soap. It's as good according to British medical experts. Yeah, just wash your hands. Well, the good thing with washing your hands for like properly and with a good time is it actually takes the layer off your skin. That this layer, I can't remember what it's called now, where the virus or bacteria are on, because they can't get into you. They sit on this layer. You get a good wash, and you wash all that off. It will be washed off. You've got to really wash. I can't go see any movies at the movie theaters in Minnesota. They're all closed. Yep. We have only let small takeaways stay open, run by less than 4 people. Well, that's how it should be here, but it's not. I know of places where the size of the room, according to the new social distancing, should not have more than 3 or 4, and there's 10. So, I don't know. What do you do? Alright, guys. Alright, where are we up to with this? Never vote for that. I've never voted for him. I sit on the left, not the right. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're on the left or the right. If you're a decent person that will put people, have empathy and compassion for people, which anyone can, whether if you're on the left or right, But it's when you're on the far, to be honest, the far of anything, extreme of anything just becomes ridiculous sometimes. I'm just for being fair and decent and compassionate and being good to people, and that doesn't happen on the far right. Rarely, rarely. And even on the far left, people become so psychotic about things, they go so overboard that it's counterproductive. Kush says, how much more time for the stream? 5 or 10 minutes. That'll be it, 5 or 10 minutes. Just because I've got to do the kids' next sports or active session in 10 minutes, which will involve push-ups, sit-ups, and all the rest of it. And plus, I've been doing this for over 2 hours. My back's getting a bit funny. Do your video on how to make microwave sweet potato chips. How did you make your sweet potato chips to turn to actual chips? By microwaving them. I showed in the video, like a bit of oil, a bit of salt, put it on there, put it on a, or you can put it on a plate, you can put it on some, what do you got, like baking paper and whatever. Do it in sections, turn them over, do it different amounts of time, and yeah, and that's pretty much it. So where's the PM? Are they still talking crap? Yeah, they're still talking. Very interested to see what they have to say for themselves. Very interested to see what they have to say for themselves. Okay. He says, we need to go further. That's hilarious. So I'm just he's asking, so he's not telling businesses, he's asking businesses, the Prime Minister here, to hibernate. And he's leaving it up to them. That's like saying, we need to do social distancing to stop the spread or slow it. But it's up to you if you want to do it. He just doesn't want to take any responsibility. Just say, just do this or do that. Okay, first. So, sorry, I'm just reading this. What's the new thing happening here? So, addition to any Australians coming back into the country, you have to sign a self-isolation card on arrival, and people will have to be isolated in hotels for 2 weeks. Yeah, so there's really nothing that new yet that I can see that tells me anything. He's still blathering on. He's been talking for like over half an hour about nothing. Your current government is central right. Our current government is far right religious. Our Prime Minister is Hillsong, religious nut. Jason says, "Look good. If you still have the Lego Man mold, can I borrow it from you so I can make?" In India, 40% that good, 16 dead. Yeah, not good, but taking some. Modi, he's done a lot of good, getting rid of a lot of corruption. Um, you know, well, I think he's good. From what was there before to what is there now, he seems to be doing good for the people, getting rid of a lot of corrupt politicians and people. How do you have so many subscribers? I've had this channel for like 10 years, so I've had heaps and heaps of subscribers over the years. I remember in its heyday, I was getting like 1,500, 2,000 subscribers a day. Red Roses. How do you make my name? Comes in red. Well, I don't know what that means. Two new deaths in Mexico. Not good. That's the other thing with this. Now, you really need about 80% to have herd immunity. Now, I've heard people, and even medical professionals, if I would even call them that now, saying 60% is enough for herd immunity. Well, absolutely load of crop. 40% not infected is not herd immunity. It'll slow, but it also depends on where that is. So you need around 80%, 75 to 85%. Let's call it 80%. So in order to have that, you need um, 800,000 out of 1 million people to have had the virus. And when you look at, say, I don't know, we'll just say Italy. Italy's had, they need 800,000. They've got 1,333 people per 1 million. That is 0.13 of a percent. They need 10,000 just to have 1%. 100,000 is still only 10%. There's a long way to herd immunity, so hopefully we get vaccines and whatever. In the USA, they're like a quarter of 0.1 of a percent. So 63. All right, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. What time is it down there in Australia? It's a few minutes to 3 p.m. on a Friday. So just I think a couple of minutes, I'll call it quits on this chat today. I may or may not do a chat tomorrow. We'll just have to see. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, that reminds me. I got to Hey, Fish is back. I'm going to be going pretty soon. Are you in lockdown? Nope. You can still go and get your hair cut here. You can go and vote. You can do a lot of things here still. Schools are still open. Yeah. So it's very. Well, I guess I'll call it quits there. 2.5 hours this chat, and yeah, I'll do another one. I don't know if I'll bother with tomorrow. I'll do one in the next few days when there's more things to update. But thanks, guys, for popping in, and it was awesome.